Okay. The manuscript. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me... I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all of this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mantle script, or whatever you call it. It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's... That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but... My daddy was Hurley's assistant once. His partner. Eh! They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details, every single case down. You see? In his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So I've never really met him. Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. Iris, this Hound of Baskervilles story. I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts? That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean. Oh? How? I don't really know. But it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it, and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after you toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. But why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, do not ask me. Alright then. I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Winterbank, isn't it? Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. It's mean. That's what it is. Keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't gotten any bleh, bleh. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Look at the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us. From the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket? Nah. Diving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? So that's how I see it. Oh, Gina. Oh, I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. I always thought it'd make everything alright. But I haven't listened to what Iris just said. Sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh! I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you always wanting to meet them. It's true. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he popped that manuscript or whatever wrote, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my. Why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that story was really an old Windibank storeroom, there's no way someone from half a way around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ah! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, the lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling ya, that manuscript ain't at Windibank's. You'd seen it if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, all right. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning, I insist. Oh, yes, please! I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then. Now I want breakfast. Iris. It sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. But deep down, she's still just a child. Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father. But also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Sir Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes? What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Cisato. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home. But I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh? If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Winterbank's? Oh no. Oh yes! It's simple. If that story was really an old Winterbank storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world would, in other words, you, could know about it. Now she's just backtracking her talking. Could Gina have gone? Seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry, no. No, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once! Miss Cisato. April 16th, 1:14 a.m. The door to Winterbank's is open. And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. Afoot? I have my 2 feet. There's no one here. Oh, yes. Bang! Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo! But... Go! Take the kids! Wait a minute. After them! Go! Right! I got this. No one can stop me now! Blast! I've lost them. Hello? Hello? What have we here? The Bobby. It's the Bobby! The alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker's, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot? With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibanks. You better run fast. Oh, it's dark.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Narado!
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!
Hurry! Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Oh no! No! Gina! No! You'll be alright. No, you won't! He won't be alright. Well, he might be. Oh, it's time to look through the little window. Ah! It's Gina! Wait. No, they set her up. From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn, before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. But what about Sholmes? April 16th, 6:21 a.m. A telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home. Oh, yes, we asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Runo? Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Winterbank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Oh. Yes, I had a feeling. You did? Well, I saw all of those police carriages pulling up outside of his shop. So I knew something must have happened there. When we entered Winterbanks in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street and I chased after them, but they got away. So, it was one of them who shot old Mr. Winterbank, I suppose? I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Why not? They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina. Ginny? But why? Well, the thing is... No, Ginny wouldn't do something like that. I know. None of us think she did it. Then why have they arrested her? I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to hospital this morning. What? When we entered Winterbanks, a gun was fired, and he took a bullet. Hurley? Not my Hurley! He was shot? No! No! It's all right. His life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? He's at St. Sinner's. They're tending to him there. I see. So they took him to the Sinners Hospital. I must see him at once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed. No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. To operate? Oh, poor Hurley. Where's Susie, Runo? Where is she? She's still at the police station. Why? I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while. Why aren't you there then? Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals. Anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Mrs. Zato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. Ah, I see. Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station. It was the tooth thugs that were at Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry? What'd you say to me? Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Runo. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. Oh, Iris. I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all. They shot Hurley dead, didn't they? No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris. Ugh, this is all so horrible. The thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in the storeroom, where he keeps all the deposited articles. And the storeroom door was locked from the inside. I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. Oh no! And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards... Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room. Yes, exactly. How did you know? It's the only explanation. Yes, the only explanation, indeed. What do you mean by that, Runo? Well? What can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment. But I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. Take me with you! I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. But I don't want to leave her all alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me. Oh, yay! I'd love to. Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget, we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. We're going to the prison! Yay! Hello, Gina. Oh no! Don't shoot me! Don't shoot me! No! Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made. I wish she wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. What are you here for? Ginny, I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. so we were thinking that we might be able to help you. Well, you can't. I'm sorry? You heard. Get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay me hands on and get it. That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny... I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before they said he'd be a lawyer for me like that. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me any more obviously if she tried. Why are you being like this, Ginny? I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? He wanted me to sign some papers, representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway. The whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it always been for me. Growing up in the back slums me whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell you, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers. Or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. You can't trust no one, that's the point. So as soon as you do, you're gone to grass. Dead. We all gotta touch some grass lately. Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could... Forget it! Ginny? Don't you trust Runo? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone. Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night at the pawnbroker's. There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me and you know the rest. And ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't that easy, you know. It's a lot of work. And half the time you don't even get nothing. Is that really why you broke into the place? She doesn't believe it. Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else? Oh, give it a rest. What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you. Whatever it is. Believe me? Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies? I just realized I didn't go to the hospital. What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you told are? Maybe we can help. Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh, yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by. It's a kitty! A photographic print of a really adorable cat. Wouldn't take it home with me. I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. We should probably go see her. You wanna huggle the kitty? Yeah, me too. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Bye! Oh, Ginny. We got the white cat photo. There's notes on the back. Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it. February 13th, 9 p.m. Article deposited. 1 small box. Loan amount 10 shillings. Redemption deadline April 13th. So this photographic print is a redemption ticket? February 13th. That could be significant. Yes, it will be significant. It was just 2 days before the murder on the omnibus, wasn't it? A small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it? Bruno, if Mr. McGill still had the ticket, then presumably he never redeemed the article. So do you think the box might still be present somewhere in the shop? Yes! If it's something McGill deposited, we need to investigate. Right. To the hospital! I completely forgot about him. Is that bad? April 16th. St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. Hurley! Oh. He's not here. No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she? I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home. I'm not so sure about that. Baby or not. Hurley's just a big baby. There's no question that it was fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered. Blech. How do I words? Oh. Hello, what have we here? This ward is off limits. No visiting. So what are you doing in here, eh? Well, I'll have you know we're Hurley's next of kin. Eh? Oh, well, begging your pardon then, ma'am. Sir? A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. The great mystery solver as a mysterious family, eh? If that's how you see us, sure. Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley? I believe he is currently in the operating theater, ma'am. Undergoing extensive operation. Extensive? It has been several hours since he went in. Oh dear. Is he going to be alright? Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is. Oh! I have heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later. Oh, poor Hurley. Alright, let's go back to the pawn shop. We're back at the pawnbrokery. Hello, officer. Don't mind if I do. This is where it happened then. Last night? That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables. But apart from the policeman in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance. No, you're right about that. Actually, in fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking. I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals, all dressed in black. Oi! I heard that. It's Potato Man! Oh, Inspector, good morning. Suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. It's Gregson! Our good old tater buddy. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I thought you'd assign extra men to the beat around here, Gregsy. Now look at what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty. Duty. His face. He's crunched his taters. Your ladyship! No one told me you were coming. I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care. Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital are attending to him as we speak. And I don't think it's Runo's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job. Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am. As you say. The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about personality change. Oh, where are me manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice. Some nice, refreshing fruit juice. Oh. Why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me, if you'd like some. Pinky out! Lovely. Thank very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this. Well, he certainly pulled a 180. Let's ask the Tater Man some questions. How many tater tots are in your bundle, sir? So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina? You're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow. Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me. Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid... Go on, tell me. I see. I see, with all these big eyes. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you? What the? And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you? How could you? How? How could you possibly know that? I had a feeling, that's all. Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So, you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes, they were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison. She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinner's. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know. I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all. The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He lost a fair bit of blood. Oh no. He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding. But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better? Of course, your ladyship. He'll be right as rain before you know it. Really? How do you know? How do I know? Well, because... Of course. Yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. We'd better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley. I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater. I couldn't help but notice, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine. Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. Watch the sauce, Sonny. I'm a copper and we don't go in for favoritism. I mean, I'm pretty sure you did. But he's right. You do treat us differently. It's because of those Adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories, that's why. Oh? I crop up in him, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson. Well, yes. Because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's. What did you write about the inspector, Iris? I don't remember, really. It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it. Oh, did I write that? And you know what that one line did for me? Eh? Very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell ya. Oh, that's amazing. All because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sherlock Holmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me. Well, look at you, Mr. Popular. Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time you became such a toady to me. Can you blame me? All it'd take is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No. The great detective will say, he's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it. But that would never happen, Gregsy. Every month when the new Rants magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages. Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some tea to settle your nerves. Teetotal. Oh yeah, there's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, what is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. An important message? Are you going to tell me what this important message is, or what, then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant. Dear Susie! Is she alright? She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe? Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Oh yes, I forgot about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in yard carriage after we finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey, and to go meet her there. She's got a nerve, using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector. Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice? She didn't tell me. But I'd better head over there, too. Oh, fancy. Right, we're at the British Supreme Court. Yes? No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow. You think this place is oppressive? I think it's normal. How so? I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you? Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust? Yes. Thank you very much. There they are. Susato and Lord Strongheart. I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious. Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato! Why are there birds in here? Mr. Naruhodo. What was all that about? Mr. Naruhodo, thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What is all this about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow. Tomorrow? But what about Ginny's trial? You mean... she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Miss Susato, what's all this about? Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it... That's not what I asked! What happened? Why are you leaving? It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no. Professor Mikotoba? No! Father! If I may. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor in forensic medicine at Yume University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news. 10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. And it seems he grows weaker day by day. I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely. Which means she's going to be leaving me. I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. Man, that's some bad luck right there. So, Gina has been charged. She'll have to appear in court. Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow. No, not even 24 hours later? Gina. The Lestrade girl, and the murderer of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes? An all too conspicuous case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery, and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is. without wasting time on these open and shut cases. It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Lord Strongheart? In difference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave now. Of course, Lord Strongheart. Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday? Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday. It's no concern of yours, though. I'm sure I need not remind you of that. 3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me. There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart. Which is... it's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her? A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation. But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial. Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and the defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. What a day. Gina charged with murder. Susato about to leave. Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie... You're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Miss Susato. That's a very pensive look. I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go. If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer. Wait, she's not... Oh, there she is. Ah! Hello again, Gina. What are you lot here for now? To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in their faces yet again, obviously. I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look! You can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say. What? I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Eh? Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them. Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it? It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you? What? It's my fault! Yes. So I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you. Eh? Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be. Wow, Susato. You're really hitting her hard. What are you talking about? What did you expect me to do, eh? You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies? You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but... Is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? The one in which Magnus McGildas was acquitted? The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus? You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. Will you tell us about it now? Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilted was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it. What sort of thing did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. It was pitch black in that little cubby hole. I couldn't see a thing. And then... I heard that loud thud like someone falling on the floor. And that's when Mr. McGilted discovered you. Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I'd had the cove's blood all over him. I was so scared I couldn't even speak. You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight. Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were, and why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, he did. Only that's not all. What do you mean? I mean, he threatened me. Threatened you? How? It made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. And about what I was gonna do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scarper before the coppers showed up. Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. You said McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch-black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, you see. Couldn't help it. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by the arm, and that's when I saw it. I was on the floor next to the old geezer, what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. A disc? Do you mean... Look at the floppy disk on the floor! Yeah, that's it. That one with the one that Dee took off me at Windibanks. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus? Not for long. McGilded spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside the pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of the Mason's murder? And the bug trotter told me. I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab. I was straining my ears the whole time. You need a pocket disc. You need a pocket disc so you can keep things on? Yeah. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably that was McGilded getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh? Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of those two people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilded claimed he slept during the carriage ride. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. Flashback! And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. His hat is so tall? Yes. It's tall hat. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Back in my day, my hats were bigger than an Eiffel Tower. The double flashback? Yes. It's Flashback City. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other. So, McGilded was lying as I suspected. I knew it weren't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm that bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGilded told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. Two coves from up top ran off to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right. And after they'd gone, Mr. McGilded asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. Aye. I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street? Yep, you got it. It was Windibank's. The coachee snapped up the money and ran off to pop his coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened up the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see. What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul, not for anything, about what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well. There's more. Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? At all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye. The fiend's taken me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you lass to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right. And I'll come fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windibank's, so it is. And you're to extend the loan before another 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited, and any old fiend could come along and buy it. But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now, if you go against me. Yeah, I get it. Good. And one more thing. And one more thing! In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What it is that you might say, and what it is that you won't. After he'd gone over it all, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So, McGill had planned it. And coerced Gina into giving false testimony. Mood. I hope you had a good day, though. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. It's what we're threatening me with. Confession time? Yeah. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other by getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have, in an heartbeat, he could have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere. That's where. So, I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork, or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see. You what? Hurley's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright. Right? It's gonna be alright? That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake, as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it? Something like that. Mrs. Otto. Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. Sign on the dotted line. Give me your soul. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing. Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely. Alright, we got her papers for court. Well. At least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now. Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there. I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now, I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now, it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although, something tells me that he's not going to be happy about it. I don't need no lawyer. Proceeds to shit's pants.